You need to put yourself out there. And I'm not talking about when you feel ready or when you think that you've practiced enough or you have enough experience where you can share what you've created with the world. You need to do it now, especially in today's day and age where people share everything on social media. I'm not asking you to share everything. I'm just asking you to take that creative endeavor that you're working with, whether it's music, art, videography, whatever it is, get it out there now. You're not the best that you're going to be. You won't be the best that you're going to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So there's no reason to wait that long before you start getting yourself out there. A lot of people have the mindset where they can work in isolation for an insane number of years. I myself have done the same thing. And the only thing that cost me was everything, right? The only thing that I gained from that was learning that that's not the approach to take if I'm actually wanting to get my creative efforts out into the world. Now, a lot of people think, well, I can practice these things and then I can practice those things. And you're constantly going through and telling yourself, well, until I learn this, until I learn that. But until never comes. So if you're not getting yourself out there today, then you're not even starting the clock for you to get better. And it's okay to learn in isolation from time to time, but you need to set deadlines that help you get these projects out into the world, and you need to think about what you're trying to accomplish. If you're a musician, is your goal just to write songs for yourself or your family? Then that's fine. You don't need to get that out there. But if you want to be a successful musician in a very, very competitive field, then you need to start getting your music out into the world as soon as possible. Have others critique it, right? Others can critique your music. Others can tell you what they like or what they don't like about it. And guess what? You have the option of agreeing or disagreeing. You can take their advice with a grain of salt. In fact, I implore you to take most of the advice that you receive online with a grain of salt. But until you get yourself out there and you talk to other musicians and you talk to your potential fans, you're not going to know what's working and what's not working. And if you try to do this in isolation, you'll make incremental efforts over a very long period of time. And no matter what, anything that's worth doing takes a lot of time. But unless you want to actually see some significant progress, if you want to see some significant progress, then you actually need to go out there and talk to people and show people what you have. You'd actually be surprised. A lot of people, especially on the platforms that I've worked on, YouTube in particular, a lot of people are kind, supportive, and they want you to succeed. And the ones that don't, who cares? Forget them. In lieu of another term, they don't help you, they don't benefit you, they don't belong in your life. Okay, but what does matter to you, and I'm speaking specifically as a musician, but as any creative or anybody trying to accomplish anything in the world, what does matter is other experts that have achieved great results in your field and how you can learn from them. Other individuals like customers or fans that you can learn, you can tailor to what they're looking for. I'm not talking about selling out. I'm not talking about writing only songs that they enjoy or creating only movies that your fans would watch, because you would never have the vast ecosystem of amazing directors that we have today, songwriters, if all they did was pander to what, the current audience wants today. You actually have to think through and see, okay, these are the trends right now. These are what fans of my musical genre are looking for. Now, how can I find ways to craft with my unique perspective a song, a movie, an album, and give them what they're looking for as well? Because if you want external validation, which everyone talks about external validation as this negative thing, but if you don't have happy clients, you don't have happy fans, then you don't have a career in that field. And if you want a career in that field, then you need to go put yourself out there, see what other people are looking for, take in the advice that people give you. Again, not internalizing everything, right? Only the bits that will help you succeed, and then tuning out all of the noise. And that in itself is a very, very difficult skill to learn. But if you do all of that and you get yourself out there, you're going to learn that certain things become a lot easier. If you're a musician and you get more songs out there on a regular basis, you're writing more songs, you're completing more songs. They might not be the best in the beginning. And it's funny too, because you might think you have a great song 5-10 years after you started songwriting. And then 10 years later, you think, what was I thinking? Nobody liked that. I don't even like that anymore. But that's the benefit of change. You can always pivot. You can always write more songs. You can always create more films. And you can always get better in the process. And you can continue working with a lot of skilled individuals that will help you along the way. But this only works if you put yourself out there. So I'm asking you, or rather I'm telling you, if you need somebody to tell you, I'm telling you, take that song that you've been holding on to, finish it if it's not finished. If it is finished, put it up on streaming platforms. If you're worried about legal stuff, which is something that would bog me down, then copyright the song first. Copyright the song. It's $55 a song, or whatever the case it is today. You could do an album of 10 for something like $80. I don't know the exact amount. Just do that. Get that hurdle out of the way, because that will stop you from doing everything else. But whether or not that's your case, get the song out there. If you're a videographer or a director or somebody that's working in movies, take the steps that you need to get something out there now. All right? Music, songs, books. If all of that seems like too much, put a little snippet of something. Put a 20-second intro of a song or a verse or a chorus. Put out a 20-second clip of your video. Whatever it is you need to do it now. Because if you don't, 5, 10, 15 years from now, you're going to be thinking the same thing. I need to put myself out there. So do it now. Tell me what it is that you've been working on. Feel free to share it in the comments below. I'd love to see what everybody's working on. And I really hope that this honed in for you. I really hope you take this advice. Because honestly, I'm speaking to this camera right now as if it was me 20 years ago. And if 20 years ago me was listening, maybe I would take the advice. But I sure hope you do. All right, thanks for joining in. I'll talk with you soon.